to hold on. Won't let this get me down. I know better, that's just the way of life. We pick ourselves up again. This is not the end. Don't give up now. Life is made of ups and downs, but it's all about how we choose to deal with it. It's okay to feel that way and cry. Don't you forget, it's all part of life. How we will make it out stronger, stronger. Yeah, how we will make it out stronger, stronger. Down, 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 falling down again. Now that I have fallen, I'll get up again. It's not over. Tell myself to hold on. Won't let this get me down. I know better, that's just the way of life. We pick ourselves up again. This is not the end. Don't give up now. Life is made of ups and downs, but it's all about how we choose to deal with it. It's okay to feel that way and cry. Don't you forget, it's all part of life. How we will make it out stronger, stronger. Yeah, how we will make it out stronger, stronger. Down, 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 falling down again. Now that I have fallen, I'll get up
Ain't nobody stopping. Ain't nobody stopping.
And we are live, everyone. I'm your host, Jason of Awake Souls. Happy Friday evening. I'm joined by the limitless one, Ronnie Harris. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. But I'm super excited to be here tonight. How's everybody doing?
I can hear you, but you cannot hear me. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know why we've been, we've been having technical issues. I don't know what's been trying to troll us. We'll be getting through these these moments as we continue to move forward.
Can you hear me now?
Hopefully, am I coming through? Do you see the bar on the OBS registering my sound?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but not through my earphones. I'm all good. My earphones are correct. I have it on the correct setting. So the problem must be on your end, or we're just getting trolled by some kind of a anomaly.
Yeah.
Should I back out of the call? Like, I don't know what you want to do.
I don't know. I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Yes.
Tell me when you got the thumbnail. I'll just jump out. You can reattach. Get me back on the call. Sorry, everybody.
Thumbnail up.
It's Friday, anyways. We don't have. This is a laid back night. We're not being judged yet. You want me to jump out?
Sure. Yeah. Don't know what's going on. We'll see what we can do. Welcome everybody in the chat. Sorry about the technical problems. We are going to be going through tonight Revelation 7. So how many of you that are thinking you're part of the righteous team, how many of you are thinking that you're going to have a mark on your forehead? Well, you're going to find out tonight that you definitely want one. Not the one that comes with the mark of the wild animal. There's a different mark. And we're going to be going through that. Yeah, so the people in the chat are saying that they're able to hear both of us. So it's just a weird thing that Ronnie wasn't able to hear me. I think we'll have him back soon. And then we're going to do live call-ins. So we got to get this audio thing figured out so that everybody can hear everybody. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Let's see here. Yeah, so we are going to be going through some scriptures tonight. Then we're going to be putting the link to the Zoom call. You have to have Zoom. If you don't have Zoom, you're not going to be able to call in. So it's just an app that you can download. You don't have to have a paid account. You can just have a free account. And it'll work just great for you. You can use your phone, you can use a tablet, you can use a laptop, a desktop, but you do need to have Zoom to be able to call in. We're not going to be doing it through the phone lines because then not everybody can hear each other correctly. So I'm guessing we'll have Ronnie back sometime soon. Hope everybody's... Are you ready? Nope, that's not what I wanted. Wrong person. Nope. No. That was an accident. I wanted Ronnie. How do I hang that up now? I need to be able to hang that up, and I don't know how. Let's see here.
Well, I definitely had sound. Let's hear if I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you now. Don't understand. Everything's working on my end.
And I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to reboot and we'll try again. And if the problem's not corrected, we'll just have to wing it. No, I can't hear you. I don't. I don't understand which setting. Maybe you, because when I can't hear you, usually I don't hear the incoming call through my headphones.
See, I cannot hear you at all now.
No one can hear me.
No,
it's not on my end. I don't think.
But yeah, so this other setting I had right here. This is where I can hear you. You should be able to hear me.
No, I can't hear you at all. But I know that my sound is working because I heard the incoming call from Zoom on my headphones.
Yeah, and people can hear you that are listening.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry about this. I don't know what's wrong. I guess I'll do a reboot and see if that fixes it. But all your settings are probably good. I'm willing to say. The YouTube never wants us to have good quality podcasts. They've never worked with us, so I don't know what they're trying to pull here. Do I do a math Powerland, right? There always got to be planes flying by when we're trying to do a podcast. Someone's out there picking on the dogs so that they bark. Okay, tell me when you're ready. You get the thumbnail. I'll do a full reboot.
Yeah, I'm
we'll
still
see
on,
if that fixes
still on
it.
the
If
thumbnail.
not, I'll just hear you through the wall.
I guess. We won't be able to do any call-ins if that's the way it's going to be, though. So let's hope.
Well,
let's hope
we'll
this
have to
gets
see.
fixed.
We'll figure it out. Let me see. This will probably fix it. Let me do a reboot. That'll probably fix it.
All right. Yeah. So everybody, you can hear both Ronnie and I, but Ronnie cannot hear me, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. So he's doing a full reboot. Let's talk a little bit about in the chat right now. What is it that you are getting prepared for, timeline-wise, coming into the Great Tribulation? And I'll tell you the thing that seems to be really making its positioning itself really well for this right now is the World War III thing. So Russia, China, Ukraine, NATO, all this kind of stuff. We want to just keep reminding people that we've been showing over and over and over that the theater of war is literally theater of war. Pearl Harbor was a hoax. It was made for television, made for the movie theater production. Little models. It's ridiculous, and so many of the things, war weapons that they say they have, hypersonic missiles. They don't even have missiles. All right, intercontinental ballistic missiles. They don't have missiles. They don't have the types of rockets that they show, these heavy lift rockets. Those don't exist. Now, we have shown other types of rockets where they have rifling and they take off extremely fast. And that's probably the thing that gets the highest in the atmosphere, because lighter than air balloons, be it helium or hydrogen, they have the ability to get up to like 120, 130,000 feet before they burst. So that's as high as that method can go. So if you have a spiraling, rifling rocket that's traveling super fast, because of momentum, you might be able to get up to altitudes above that, but obviously you can't sustain it because it's a chunk of metal. It's just going to fall back down, and it's not lighter than air concept like a high altitude balloon. So it's they don't have the weapons that they say they have. I was just reading headlines. Some headline was Russia's got a submarine parked off the East Coast with 167 hypersonic missiles on it. No, it's absolute nonsense. It's a non-reality. They're not launching missiles from underneath the water, coming up through the water. We've seen all that footage. It's nonsense. CGI. So I do expect to hear that we're at World War soon, and then I do expect to see a whole bunch of footage. Like it'll look like a video game, because it is going to be a video game. Non-reality. So how it all affects us, where we all are, is going to be interesting. Like we'll hear the headlines that we're at war. They'll say things are blowing up. They'll say people are dying. At some point, there is going to be actual death and destruction, but so far what we've witnessed the Freemasons do is just theater of war. Scripturally speaking, we're looking for the destruction of Damascus. We're looking for that to take place because it's in the scriptures. Tonight we're going to be talking more about the timing in the Great Tribulation, and pointing out a key factor that I don't think many people are paying attention to. It's in Revelation 7 and a few other places. And it's going to be proof that there's going to be a good chunk of people. We're talking bare minimum 144,000. And then there's a multitude around that group of people as well. So we we'll be going through those scriptures. We got to get this audio thing figured out, though. We're waiting on Ronnie's reboot. And for people that are just tuning in, the problem is you could hear both of us talking, but he couldn't hear me speaking. And that's a problem. Ready? All right, I'm going to give him a call again. Hopefully this is taken care of. What is going on? Can you hear me?
No. If I put it on this speaker.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I've got you on the external speakers and it's not coming through either as well. So I don't think this is on my end. This damn tiny hats again. What did David Weiss do?
Let's see.
I don't know if you guys can hear me on the other end. I'm coming through clear. I see green on my mic. I don't understand. I've tried it on both my headphones and my regular computer speakers, which go ahead, talk.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you through the wall, but not through the system. What if you do a screen share or play some kind of sound? Maybe will I hear everything then? Because
you should hear me now.
Okay, I've got you.
All right.
Wasn't the tiny hats? How about, am I on camera? Can everybody see me on the other side of the screen?
No, we're not on camera yet.
Okay, I'm ready. I don't have no tiny hat on. Let me tell you guys that right now. Although you'll get people in here trying to tell me that my long hair is a blasphemous. No, having your hair all the way down your back like a woman down to your butt, that is what is recommended not to. The creator didn't make us with hair so that we chopped it off every month. That's what a corporate business will tell you that you need to do. Just like eating 30 times a week or 4 times a day and all these other things that have been all blasphemous lies. The scriptures say, please give us our daily bread. So I would assume that we can actually survive on bread alone. So, are we back on camera? Are we good?
Yeah, we're back up on camera.
And we're back. Thank you for holding it down, brother. I vaguely heard you talking about how we are approaching these end times super fast. And what we really need you on the other side of the screen to get ready for is to have your head cut off. Hopefully, if you could get your head cut off, there's a white robe. You get to literally be in the front row, in the front group surrounding the thrones for the millennial reign. This is where I want to be. This is you what better way that we give our lives than to have them cut off, or a bullet through the head is just as quick, right? I don't want to be slowly tortured. I mean, most of us are already being slowly tortured. But Jason, what say you, man? I'm glad we finally got this thing going.
Yeah, finally. They absolutely Zoom just blew all the audio settings out when we went live. It was crazy. But we got it back now. And we should be good.
I did some prayer. Everybody on the other side of the screen, I also want to make sure that you guys know, if you pray for something, you got to believe it. Right? Those that didn't believe didn't get healed by the Christ himself. So if you don't believe it, I prayed and I believed that we would have this problem fixed. And I had full faith that it would be. So again, we're bringing up getting a crown, having our heads cut off. This is what we strive for, right?
Yeah. Well, and as I was mentioning, there's a mark put on the foreheads of the righteous people as well, not just the people that take the mark of the wild animal. There's a mark that you want to have on your head if you want to be saved. It actually guarantees your position. And we'll want to point that out. So this is also going to help us out with the timing of what's going to be taking place during the Great Tribulation. Remember, that's a 7-year time period where the first 3.5 years is marked by the 2 witnesses ministry, and the second 3.5 years is marked by the Antichrist ministry, we'll call it. Now, as to what's taking place during which half, we're going to continue to add more and more clarity to it. We've done a hangout where we lined up the 7 seals, the 7 bowls, and the 7 trumpets. And if you take a look at all that, it looks like all that takes place during the first half of the Great Tribulation. So I've heard people out here talking about, well, the first half is the easy part of the Great Tribulation, and the second half is going to
be... The lesser tribulation, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the great tribulation. Well, it's really not what the scriptures show. The first half actually looks worse than the second half. By the time we're at the second half, there's not going to be a whole lot of people left. All right, we know that two-thirds are going to be gone for sure. And of the people that make it past mid-tribulation, it's going to be a small group of people. Yes, there's going to still be terrible plagues, and it's just going to be the time that the Antichrist rules. There will be no righteous people left. Everybody that's righteous will be gone during the second half. Now, a lot of people think that they're going to be raptured out of here. Well, we do know that one of the ways out is people are going to lose their head for their faith, and we do know that the scriptures talk about it catching up. And so we're going to try to add a little bit more clarity to that tonight.
Yes. Yeah, well said. I will be commenting on that. We've got Stinky Cash saying it was Caesar Borgia that had the long hair. Actually, no, Stinky Cash, if you do the search, I can't, I love it when people come and they try to talk to me about scriptures. I love it because it always makes me laugh, because if you actually do the deep research, you'll find an account, and it's actually written from a Roman perspective. It wasn't even a Hebrew or a so-called Jew, which is the southern province called Judea, which didn't even exist for so long into the scriptures. Yahawahashai, who most people call Jesus, which means earth pig, G as in earth and sus as in pig. We don't use those blasphemous names, nor do we use the name God, because it's a pagan Germanic name for the deity Odin, right? That goes back to ancient times. Yahawahashai had long hair past his shoulders, and it was straight to his ears, and then it went curly, and it was the color of a chestnut. And he had a beard that was parted a little bit in the middle, and he had a seam down the center of his head. That's exactly, and his eyes were crystal green. That's exactly what the account from the Roman centurion is. And at a later date, I could put that comment below in the comment section for anybody that else wants to read the extra canonical scriptures. I love it when people try to come in and tell me how Jesus looked. They try to say, right? Like, okay, you're going to tell me, right? You need to do the 10 years of study into every single book ever written. And then you can come and sit at my table and try to scripture explain me. And, I'm just saying this humbly because it's the truth that speaks. It's not me. This isn't Ronnie. It's the books, the word, the inspired word that was put into this supernatural realm by the breath of the living creator. He's the one who gives all truth, not me, not Jason. We're just here to witness to it. So again, you were bringing up tonight that there's these crowns and white robes. This is the talk of, so it was John who was, you could call it harpazoed. So John was caught up. He couldn't tell if it was a dream or if he was awake. Same thing that happened with Paul and Peter. They all had these types of visions. So they were brought into another time period. They were time traveled by the Spirit. They were moved into this place. And John was speaking to somebody on the outside looking in at this ceremony that was taking place. And what we get is a picture of this group of 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, so who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth now. They were all around him. And John asked, like, who is it? The other guy says, you tell me. And John's like, no, you tell me. And then the guy tells him, these are those that gave their heads for the testimony of the Christ. And they were given crowns and white robes. And then they were to rule with Christ for the 1,000-year millennial reign as priests and kings, basically, of the realm. This is what we're supposed to do. And like, you guys just could only imagine what it must have been like for him to be witnessing this, right? To see this crowd, this group of righteous people, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes. Like, you guys, this is insane to think about, because there's only 100 people that I could tell you that are truth seekers. And then these people were servants. The people that we're talking about now that get their marks on their head, these are servants of the Father. So they're serving right now, whether that be going neighbor to neighbor and loving and teaching people of the death and resurrection, the reincarnation, the truth of the scriptures, or if basically what people could be doing was these people could be also fighting for the truth. Maybe they have their own social medias. We don't know. We're looking to find the other groups of people. That's 144,000 is a large number. Would you not say, Jay?
Yeah, it's significant. And then there's a great multitude around that as well. But yeah, like you're saying, if you're just looking for raw truthers know that it's a couple hundred of us right now. So there's going to be something's going to happen, and it's supernatural, maybe. Not sure how this is all going to take place, but we do know from the scriptures that 144,000 people are going to be sealed, and it's going to happen at the beginning of the Great Tribulation. We'll go through that. We'll point that all out.
And also, I'm going to start to do a segment. Our Estonian producer happened to suggest that I bring up some of the memes from the prior week. So I also, if you're not on Facebook, Ronnie Harris, you can search the Limitless Channel on Facebook. You'll find me. I post hundreds and hundreds of memes. This is something that I'm passionate about. I create them too, and I post other people's memes. It's a way to share truth quickly through one image. It started basically with what was called the zine. And I was also in this movement too in the 90s. And this is what we did throughout the high schools and colleges. People would create little magazines with truth facts in them, with memes. This is how it all started. Excuse me. And today it's become this explosive way for people to make an impact. Now, I do know that a lot of us are echo chambered into this group. So most of us are sharing the content with each other. The sheeple, or the people that, excuse me, aren't on the inner groups, they don't actually get to see this content. So maybe bringing it forth on the podcast tonight, some people will get to see a little bit of what that style is. I'm looking forward to that short segment that we'll be doing. And then we're going to be hearing from you guys in the chat. Stinky Cash is out. I guess he didn't like hearing the truth. We're about the truth. We don't respect people. We respect truth. And if you share truth, we respect you, even if you're Alex Jones, right, Jay? Like, we've shared truth from David Weiss if he was to say something that's true, but we're also going to point out each and every lie.
When Jaron has said something true, we've pointed it out. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but when it happens, we'll point it out, because we know that each one of those is like a click on the winch, or it's a hole in the belt buckle. Every time you can get a truth, you just grab it, hold on to it, share it. That's how the truth never loses, because it can be hidden, but as it's revealed, as it becomes known, as it becomes available, once it's known, it can't be stopped, because it's not debunkable. Can't be. So, because Stinky Cash left, which is sad, because excuse me, me and him actually have a past. He made a video called "There Was No Compasses on Flat Earth," and it had to be one of the stupidest videos that I ever saw. And I called him out, made a video, and brought him to task. And I showed people, yes, we absolutely have compasses. They don't just point north. They also point south, because in the south area of the map, you actually have to get a different weighted compass. It has to be differently weighted, the needle, so that it actually goes to 180 degrees south. Now, south being the bottom of the square four-cornered map. And Stinky Cash himself actually spawned David Weiss's app, the tracking app, as well as the Flat Earth clock that they've coined it. Stinky Cash was the handler of all that information, and he himself is a tiny hat wearer, just like Dave. He has nothing to hide, either do I. I wouldn't even mind having Stinky Cash on. He would be a great person to have on. He's got extensive research into the Fed and on all of those conspiracies. He was a breaking person talking about sports being fixed. I believe he got on to some major podcasts, kind of like the Alex Stein 99 just got picked up by ABC News. Jay, do you want to talk about that real quick? Nah, there's not much to say other than he acted like a idiot, danced around saying, well, we can't even really talk about it. He's like, I'm jabbed, get jabbed, and
go to a jab party.
Yeah. Everybody should get jabbed. And then it's supposed to be a song. He's sort of like dancing around. And so, yeah, ABC, ESPN, Anomaly, like everybody's just jumping over him like it's the greatest thing that ever happened. And here he is literally telling people to go out and do the wrong thing.
Yeah. So, my take on it was I was absolutely appalled at the level of acting. Him and the guy that he went with both dropped the ball. The other guy had to read his phone, and he was trying to do a stimmy check from Bidden Deal. He was trying to do this thing, and come on, guys, do a little bit more homework when you're going to do something like that. And the fact that ABC says at the end, they were pro the Jabola. ABC, they were saying, good job, everybody go out in Texas and get your Jabola. Thank you, Alex Stein. Another 99 piece of crap out here to make truthers look bad, to promote evil propaganda, to support the new flu order. If people can't see that, and he had all these ex-porn stars on, and he's just basically a view whore now. What is he starting his Patreon? You get to donate in his chat. All he cares about is views. There's absolutely no way that if he went there and told people the truth about the Jabola, right, it would have no coverage.
Wow.
Nominally wouldn't have him on his podcast. ABC News wouldn't be supporting him. No, another tiny hat wearer getting supported by other tiny hats, and we will call it out. Now, we're not going to spend any more time on it than this. I just want to let you guys know that it was an absolute joke. If you're going to get 5 minutes of fame, you better go down screaming truth, or you don't have no respect in my world. I will tell you straight to your face. You're a punk and you're nothing to me. Stand out here and fight for the children. Don't go up there and make a mockery and tell everybody to go get jaboled. Anyways, I'm mind blown at how retarded that was.
Well, he's never claimed he's not a truther. I mean, he
claims to be a truther, bro. Conspiracy theorist.
No, he's with Jaron and David Weiss, so he doesn't even have any credibility as a truther. It's he's a shill. He's part of a network. He's got an agenda. He's looking to be paid, and money, views. And he's a vegan to boot, promoting the New World Order diet, going to these different places. The one funny thing we saw was that somebody tried one of the chicken nuggets it's mock fake chicken or whatever. They're like, it tastes just like the other chicken nuggets. Well, newsflash, chicken nuggets have always been fake meat. The burgers, always been fake meat at McDonald's, Burger King, all these different places. They've been selling you monkey meat before. When I was a kid, my dad would only buy the French fries. And I'd be like, come on, Dad. All these other kids again. He wouldn't even give me the burger when I was 8 years old, 1988. My dad told me that's monkey meat. Don't eat that. Thanks, Dad. You were absolutely right. So, we don't have to spend much more time on Alex Stein, bottom minus 99. The guy's a joke. That was just the largest waste of our time we've ever done on the channel.
It felt good.
Do you want to share your memes?
You want to start with that? So if you have to put the thumbnail up and do your sizing, we can get that going. Yes. Tell me when you're ready.
Thumbnail is up. You need the screen share, or let's see here. All right, everybody. What do we got going on here? I think we lost Ronnie.
And am I clear now? Now I can hear myself?
Yeah.
That's good. Let me get the screen share up. Everybody, again, thank you all for being here in the chat. All you lurkers, we absolutely love you. I'm time traveling right now. Everybody in the future that's watching this after it's up, thank you guys so much for being here. Leave a comment below. I saw more comments in the last video. I was very impressed with that. And so it's basically, Jason, I don't know if you can see now.
Just a second. I've got to find your cap.
It's basically this section here from the notifications down to the bottom of the screen. Can you see it all?
I got to move a little bit around. Why? This is better.
Yeah. Just let me know when we're good to go. Let me actually give me 1 second here. Let me turn on my circles thing so I can point things out. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. I know it's just a Friday, but we're still happy to be here right now. We don't have anything better to do than research and share the truth with y'all. That's what we want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm good now. Tell me when you're good to go.
You're good.
I'm live?
Yeah.
And we're live. This is the Limitless Channel Facebook. Okay, the first meme that I want to start out with tonight. This was a funny one. It says, when a globehead tells you are hanging upside down, spinning at 1,040 miles an hour, orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, moving through the galaxy at 430 miles an hour on a CGI picture, but you'll never feel it. It's got like a Homer SpongeBob character upside down flying through space. I just wanted to start off with that one because I thought it was funny. Jason, what are your comments on this meme?
Let's see. I can barely see it looking at it. Maybe I'll look at it on the live stream.
It just, like I just said, it says when a globehead tells you you're hanging upside down, spinning at 1,040 mile an hour, orbiting the sun at 67,000 mile an hour, moving through the galaxy at 430,000 miles an hour on a CGI picture, but you can't feel it.
With the SpongeBob upside down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so many things that happen within a meme. You've got the CGI, you've got it's supposed to all be spinning, yet there is no motion felt. In fact, the only person that's supposedly ever recorded motion ever of Earth is Bob Nodell for the Behind the Curve mockumentary, right?
Yeah, there was no evidence or proof of it. Right?
No, but he claimed to have recorded it. Yeah, no, nothing's moving anybody. Get yourself a laser interferometer. Earth's not moving.
Yeah, the device that smartass Bob chose to use actually tells you the movement of a piece of machinery due to the fact that it sets itself up as stationary. It takes the readings off of the stationary Earth, right? It moves in space not relative, but in opposition to it being rigid. It tells you its movement because one of the measurements is a rigid one, a static one, a non-moving one.
So let's move on. They are plenty sensitive too, where if you were to set one of these laser interferometers on a large clock hand that's moving 15 degrees per hour, you would see the 15 degrees of hour movement exactly. Yeah.
So this one here is one that I liked a lot. It basically says, stop attacking problems by imagining the worst case scenario for all situations. Instead, tell yourself the story you want to hear. You will continue to unconsciously attract and see problems until you return your mind to stop immediately jumping to negativity. This is so unrealistic. This will never work. If you find yourself saying things like, I can't, I won't, that'll never work, you're in the wrong mindset. It says, I just know this is going to turn out poorly. Jumping to negativity is a very common pattern of thinking that we have inherited due to generational trauma. And I know there's a lot of people on the other side of the screen right now that instantly think of the worst scenarios. It's just what we've been programmed to do. And it is our responsibility as a collective to break this pattern. And we do so by fulfilling all of the goals that we want to achieve in this life. Not only is it amazing to live out our dream, it's also our responsibility. So again, these memes, and a lot of them are taken from the actual words of the Christ. He told us to guard our thoughts. Not just our words, the things that come out of our mouths, but also our thoughts. He was telling us that if you had thought about having sexual relationship with a woman, he was telling the men that they had already sinned, right? Because our thoughts are also felt, right? This is something, I don't know, Jason, if you wanted to jump in.
Yeah, what would you like?
You're the manifestation guy. Hopefully, I don't know if you're in the chat, if you heard what I had read, talking about negative thinking versus positive thinking.
Yeah, so we just say it over and over and over again. What you hold your mind on tends to manifest. If you're looking for a new job, because you're holding that in mind, you're eventually going to find a new job. If you think you're going to lose your job, then there's a really good chance you probably will lose it. So our mind is set by a number of things, but desire is a big part of it. And so really fine tune your desires. If you see desires that you don't want that outcome, that's associated with it, definitely stay away from that. I don't know. It's I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no, manifesting your thoughts is super important. You're definitely right. What we hold in mind tends to manifest. Now, if it's out of the will of the Father, if it's something that you're not supposed to have, it won't manifest, right? This is how we judge whether it was something we wanted or something that the Father wanted. And keep in mind, the Father always wants what's best for you. So I'll keep this moving because I do have a few and I want to get through them quick. So here's another good one that I bet a lot of people don't know. If you are a subscriber to my Facebook, you'll notice that I put out a lot of content where I film flowers and bees. It's something that I've always done. And I specifically did it last year. I had a sweat bee fly up to me and like start kissing my knee and everything. It was hilarious. But the meme goes on to say, did you know bee watching is a secretly miraculous meditation? As bees dance from flower to flower, Absorbing the sun and distributing pollen along the way, they emit a healing frequency that reverses disease and promotes soul and emotional restoration. Our brain may not comprehend this, but our cells do. This is believed to be the reason why beekeepers have one of the longest life expectancies out of all professions. So I just want to point out here, and then I'm going to ask you, Jason, if you want to comment on it. Do you ever sit like this character in the meme and just watch bees flying amongst the flowers? I do. Jason?
Let's see. I used to spend a lot more time meditating than I do now. I spend a lot of time indoors, unfortunately, just contemplating spiritual warfare. That's where the focus of my thoughts are almost all the time. So it's become rather rare that I'm getting out and enjoying nature and actually soaking up that positive energy that you're talking about. So it's a great reminder for me to actually spend that time doing it.
That's great. That's a great answer. I know you haven't done enough of it, but I think you'll also maybe get back to that a little bit next summer. I'm going to try to convince you, but you do constant meditation when you go and you do your sun. You go to the beach and constantly you're doing meditation. So bee watching just might be something else that you could think about, brother. And everyone else on the other side of the screen, this is coming out of left field. A quick thing, I want to say that I'm looking at the chat. I want to remind people, I'm going to continue to do this. The chat stays up. You are a part of this podcast. If you want to come in here and argue with the moderator, you're going to get banned. If you're not staying on topic and you're talking about things that we're not discussing, you're not helping us. We want a team of people that works with us. This is about you. YouTube is putting you guys attached to this podcast. So if you have a point that you would like to discuss that we're talking about, put it in the chat. If you put YD to it, she'll see that question. If you guys just want to go off topic, this isn't the place. We take this very seriously. We like to have fun too, but I want you guys in the chat to be something that other people see in the future and say, wow, that was a great chat. I would like to be involved with this content too. But if you guys are just doing this nonsense back and forth, don't ever question the moderator. That goes to everybody, including Jerry last week did. And I'm not going to get too far into that. But if anybody wants to question us, they can leave a comment below. The chat is a part of the podcast. It's very important to us. Okay. If you get blocked, email me, awakeeple@gmail.com or awakesouls@gmail.com. We might not get it right away, but we will get to you. You can explain why you were banned and we will unban you if you're ready to come to the table and participate the way we need you to. Jason, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention our moderator is super kind and only timed out this person. When a person says ban me, I do. So I was just about to ban you, and our moderator was more tempered in it and just gave you a timeout. So next time you will be banned by me.
Eric Nelson added, we are being tested. Take all thoughts captive and obedient to Christ. Absolutely. We should always question every thought, because our spiritual war is not one of the flesh. We are fighting in our thoughts against spiritual beings. So it's key. And then Joseph came in. This bee meme was really interesting. I've never heard of this before, especially about the lifespan of beekeepers. And it would be good if somebody wants to cross-reference it, but I'm going to say that it's most likely true because I actually do bee watching and it is quite fulfilling. I'm going to move on. I'm all pumped up. When I'm breathing heavy, you guys don't realize when we make a video, we get to like duck the audio out. Now I'm not going to go. Yeah, I can say this one. This one says, guys, watch out for the waterfall, says Awake Soul standing at the side of the waterfall. Effing conspiracy theorist. This guy on the bold says, where's your tinfoil hat? Well, this person only knew it's aluminum foil, Poindexter. And then this person says, if there was a waterfall, we'd hear about it on TV. Right? Like some of these memes just absolutely light up my day. What do you think of this one, Jay?
Yeah, it's funny because it also implies like edge of the earth type thing, like the fake flat earthers with their flying pizza off in space. Oh, you fall off the edge.
That's hilarious. I didn't think you'd bring that to the table, but touche, you did. So this next one, I'm going to just say it out quietly. This is the kids returning to school after the you know what. Oh, people, it's just getting ridiculous. When is this going to end? Not like the schools are the best places to send your kids, right, Jay?
No. It's if I was in a situation with young children now, ever since learning that Earth is fixed and immovable and not a flying ball spinning through space, they would have been out of school. I would have been at the school just telling the teachers, if you're going to teach this, you have to debate me first. All right? You can't
in front of the students.
Live on YouTube.
Live. Yes,
because you're not going to teach them this type of nonsense. And then just topic after topic after topic. I would have been absolutely butting heads with teachers, administrators, all those people, and I would have ended up having to homeschool. I would have had to.
Or work, but possible, right?
Yeah.
Cryptic 333. I don't know what's up with the threes, but maybe there's a scripture that goes with that. 1 second. It says, mind what you feel because it becomes your thoughts. Watch your thoughts because they become words. Watch your words because they become behaviors, and watch them because they become habits. That is absolutely true. I really like the way that you said that. Very well added to the podcast. That's the kind of thing that I'm looking for from people in the chat. Hey, Lynn Rose, thank you for being here. Flatter Stigma, I haven't seen you around. Thank you for being here. Always Becca Shine in the house. Let's keep this moving. I'm almost done. Let's see what this one is. Oh, look at this one. For the Corona beer has changed their name to avoid association with the you-know-what. It says down here, the Ebola Extra. What do you think of this one, Jay?
Well, because I do like Corona beers. That one absolutely is awesome. The Ebola Extra.
Hopefully people like this segment, right? I hope so. I enjoy it. Like you guys, this is only like less than 1/8 of the content that I put up. I take it very seriously. Here's another good one. When you leave the TV on for your dog on a news channel and come home 8 hours later, look at the dog, bro.
He's so mentally
psychosis, right?
Yeah, trauma-based mind control, right?
This one made me laugh a lot this week. I enjoyed this one. I'm going to keep it rolling because we do have a few more to get through. This one says Pfizer, the vacuum suit. Pfizer introduces new Bane suit that pumps more into your blood every 12 hours. Look at this thing.
Right. They probably will have it soon. It'll be chloroform gas in those tanks too, right?
They're green. It's green, bro. If anyone doesn't know, chloroform is green, and you want to stay away from the chloroform. Let's keep this going here. Now we got this one. To all the heroes who risk Facebook jail every single day. And, I just want to give you guys a salute right now, live on air with my voice. I absolutely love each and every one of you. I know who you are. I am an observer. I do talking too, but if you believe it or not, I do way more observing than I do talking. And I really respect anybody that's willing to post stuff that goes against the community standards because it's truth, right? It's truth and it needs to be said. Some people need to hear it. And I'm sure these memes absolutely wake people up. They do. They really do. They have a huge, huge importance. And I wanted to salute you guys, Jason. I'm going to salute you, Jay, because you got kicked right off Facebook. Now, I know you could probably make another account and then do it a different way, but you're probably going to get kicked off again. But I salute you, bro, just for absolutely showing the hypocrisy that they won't even let you in the town square. What say you, Jay?
Yeah, Facebook. I was surprised that they let me on there in the first place, even when I came back. So I was one of the first adopters of Facebook. I was the one that introduced it to a whole bunch of friends, family, neighbors, all that kind of stuff. Then they all became Facebook people. And then I was one of the early people to get rid of it. I had canceled my account. And then because of the YouTube stuff that we're doing here, I wanted to use Facebook again just for helping advertise, helping spread the YouTube content. And it didn't take long for them to get rid of me. They never even let me use Facebook.
You got no bans
on my phone. Right. I couldn't use it on my phone.
You couldn't use Messenger, and then you didn't get a 3-day warning, a 3-day, a 7-day, a 30. You were booted off the service. No more for you, right?
Just gone like that.
And that's sad because you're an absolute monster for the truth. I don't know anybody that fights as hard as you. Here, this one's absolutely crazy funny. It's absolutely real, people. This is how afraid this guy is. He's got 300 masks on right now. How does this picture make you look, Jay? I don't even need to put a caption with this one, do I?
Well, you know what's funny is on the cover of Drudge right now is an article about how studies have shown that people look more attractive in masks. And then it says in the article that these masks, these blue masks, are what make people look most attractive. So if you're a lady out there dating, is that look right there, is that more attractive than being able to see a person's actual face? It looks like a diaper on a guy's face. That's bad.
It's pretty bad. I do have to agree. I'll keep it moving. Elusive said he's going to make a video about us right now, or her. I don't know. Elusive truth. Yeah, you're already in our bad books. We are here for the straight truth, not anything elusive. That sounds like nonsense to me. Let's keep this going. Now, this one was Villar's favorite top meme of the week. So what we got here is a square. It's sectioned off into 490 degrees. It says 90 times 4 equals 360. You get a circle. Jason, what say you on this one? It says, calm down, bro.
This is an intelligent meme. It because 360 degrees is the arbitrary amount that's been set as the amount of degrees in a circle, and because 90 degrees is a quarter circle, then the corners of that square, each one of those corners is 90 degrees. That totals 360. So the square is 360 degrees. This circle is 360 degrees. So then you make the comparison, square equals circle. And right there, a whole bunch of people's minds just fried. So it's by using an arbitrary number. Right? It's absolutely arbitrary that you have square equals circle. In common logic, square and circle don't equal each other. But yes, when you add up the degrees, they do. So I like it. It's a smart meme. Should trigger a few people.
Yeah. So what I want to add to this is, one second. For some reason, sometimes my throat gets dry. So this is basically almost likened under what we call the scriptures being written on multiple levels. The scriptures have an earthly understanding, right? One of the earth, and then a heavenly one, where it's one of the spirit, one of the heavenly. This meme has multiple layers. The first layer is it's a false equivalency, right? Because it's nonsensical. A square does not equal a circle. They're two different geometrical shapes. Two, it's absolutely mocking the Church of Satan. Right? They created the deception of relativity, right? Einstein came up with relativity because Aries did a test and proved that the earth was stationary. Einstein came out and said, well, stationary relative to the whole universe moving at the same distance at the same time. So it has multiple levels. And then the third is that it's a biblical context, right? The earth has four corners. These jackasses come out and say, well, the four corners, if you add up the 90 degrees, you get 360. Therefore, it's a sphere, right? Absolutely ridiculous. This is a super high level, multiple layered meme. It's funny because you got Neil deGrasse Tyson, who knows the earth is a simulation. He knows it's an oblate flat plane, but yet he's out here dropping mics around the world like he's some overstanding. All he does is hide. He's what do you call those, ostriches? No, who puts their heads in the sand? Is that a flamingo? I don't know. It's whatever bird you want to call it.
Ostrich.
He's an ostrich. And then we've got Stephen Hawking, who was an absolute joke, right? They typed up, it was Carl Sagan who wrote the books that they put Stephen Hawking's name on. They just rolled him out there to mock you. The tiny hat people love to mock you. So this was probably one of the funniest multiple layered memes of the week. And again, this all credit to Villar. He does a lot of truth sleuthing and comes up with some of the best content. And we work together as a team. Moving on, we got this one. Of course, all scientists agree when you censor the ones who don't. So then he's got the puppet strings to the TV, to the people all, you know what. And what I want to point out here is this is absolutely spot on. This is how they do it. The Ashkenaz, the tiny hatters get together. They all work in a team. People say that they're the smartest. No, they're not the smartest. They hire within their own families, right? They monopolize everything, which is the loser cheating way. They don't do it off talent. They do it because they fix everything. So they fix science. And here it is.
And because they control the media, you're never going to hear about the people that disagree.
So of course they're going to tell you that all scientists agree. Do you have anything else to add to this? I'll keep going.
No.
So now this is into, I do also memes with natural types of healing, right? But I'm not a doctor. This isn't a doctor's opinion. This is someone else's meme that we're going to share. It says, what happens if you boil a lemon? Right? It goes on to say, did you know that lemon peel is also nutritious? If you boil the lemon rind, you can extract good properties from it, making it an even more nutritious drink. It can aid in depression, anxiety, heart, and how do I say that word? gastrointestinal.
Gastrointestinal.
I almost got it. Gastrointestinal diseases. So this is just something for people that might have stomach problems, suffering from anxiety. I drink lemon and water all the time. It's acidic. We are like batteries. Our avatar suits are electrical, and the acid works good with our bodies. It helps us heal all kinds of things. Jason, do you have anything to add to this one?
I know that YD promotes this heavily.
Yes.
And yeah, I do believe the actual science behind this, that these are natural remedies. And I am super against pills and doctors. So all the natural remedies I can get my hands on are fantastic.
So somebody brought up Cryptic 333 asked, what's the difference between Yahuwah and Yahawah? If you look carefully at the words that you just typed, you've got a difference. One uses a U, right? And one uses all A's as the vowel, right? And the Paleo Hebrew, the one that we speak, the one that we researched, is the correct first language that Adam spoke and all the angels. Up until the Tower of Babel, everyone spoke it, right? And it's Yahawah, right? So Yah means he. Moses added it because when he first came to Moses, he said, my name is Hawaha, which means existence, exists. He is what exists, what all things exist from and go back to. That's what his name means. Yahuwah is a Yiddish name that they created using vowel points, the Masoretics, because they wanted to transliterate the language into Greek and in Latin. And in those languages, they had all these nonsensical vowels. The Paleo Hebrew was an unambiguous language. It was simple. It was good.
Yeah,
Do you want to add anything to that?
The E's, O's, and U's all come from the Masoretic vowel points. They are not ancient. You can do an etymology on those letters, E, O, and U. What is the origin? When did they come about? They're not ancient. They come about from the Masoretic vowel points. And that's the reason why we stay away from the words that use them.
Yeah, we don't usually want to get too far off topic, but I definitely like to address that question when it's asked. So Becca Shine is on topic. Thank you very much. She says, what do you think about supplements? I mean, it's good to get nutrition from food, but ... So yes, Jason and I do not agree with anything that's not natural. If it's not like from the earth, if it's not grown, if you can't so anything that's been processed.
Everything's from earth, right?
Yeah,
so
there's nothing that's synthetic, right?
There's nothing synthetic.
You got me. That's my own point.
It's all from earth. One of the things I personally recommend is staying away from highly concentrated things. So a lot of the issues that you run into with supplements is they ultra concentrate something. If you think about pretty much all drugs in a weakened form, right? They're not lethal, but the stronger and stronger you make it. So there's different types of heroin. And once you get up to fentanyl, it's so highly concentrated that it's something like around the size of a grain of sand that it can now be lethal. But that was all concentrated from the original poppy plant, where a little bit of poppy tea could be a natural remedy. Right? So over concentrating stuff becomes toxic to the body. So I stay away from supplements because they're super concentrated. I like to get it naturally from a food where it comes in doses that aren't such a severe shock to the body.
That's right. We were created to take that. Another thing, again, that I wanted to point out really quickly, sorry for clearing my throat too much tonight. If you have a super bad fever, because I do a lot of writing on Facebook as well, and I've written about not taking any pills. If you have a really bad fever, there are different types of medications that will help break that fever. And this is a case where I would tell a parent to absolutely, if your child's got a fever that's spiking, you definitely can use, what is the kind that you have, Jason? It's a powder form that we make. It tastes like lemons. We put lemons with it. What is it called?
For what?
Breaking a fever. When we were sick.
It was an Alka-Seltzer plus medicine that had, had some of the, it
doesn't matter. It's Alka-Seltzer, and it absolutely broke the fever and allowed us not to get into a serious position. This is the only type of pharmaceutical that I'm putting in my body. I don't know about you guys on the other side of the screen. I'm no doctor. I'm telling you how I live. And, if you have to break a fever, you have to break a fever. That's one thing, right?
Yeah. So it's a Tylenol product. I forget what the active ingredient in that is.
I believe it's Bayer, but they're horrible.
No, that's just a name brand. But so there's ibuprofen, and then there's can't think of what the other one is. That's the fever reducer one. And when we did get sick over this winter, and we had all the flu symptoms, something like that did actually break it, and then the lemon water, it's super good remedy.
We got Battery 79 joining us. Hey man, birthday week boy. Hopefully you had a good week, bro. It's finally the weekend. We're on to the next one here. We only got 4 more, including this one. It says, did you know? This is something I'm going to be participating in. Pomegranate seeds are a great source of fiber, and the juice contains vitamin C, potassium, iron, and whatever that word is, antioxidants. It is an excellent anti-aging skin benefits. It helps healing scars, improving your skin texture, and provides a natural glow to your skin. So if everybody is not eating pomegranates, you're missing out. Jason, I know my mom, or I should say YD, sorry. Sometimes I forget that she's also the moderator. Used to make, when she drank, pomtinis, and she would put these pomegranates into her drink, and it was a pretty good drink. I have to tell you, I had a few. I'm not a big drinker, everybody knows, but that's the experience, and I rather enjoy them. You can sort of chew on the seed and get the juices off of it, and it gives it a little bit of a flavor to it. Jason, have you ever had pomegranate seeds?
I think so. I had pomegranate bushes for a while, and I would eat the berries off of there. But
wow.
Yeah, but most of the time it was in like a juice drink where it's been juiced already, right?
Yeah, but same thing.
Yeah.
So you like them?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. And I'm liking how people are also putting in content to go with our stuff. People are suggesting CBD oil, which is great. And if people don't know, CBD is made from hemp. It's not actually made from marijuana. It can be, and they typically use those strains for people with epilepsy and many other things. But I am a strong proponent of using CBD. If you smoke THC, you don't need CBD in it. Let's move on here. We're almost done. This one here is hilarious. It says first Jebola, second Jebola, your Boosterola, the Omnicrony, the Deltacrony, the Megatrony, the Voltrony, the Techrony, the Ron 95, Ron 97, and Palibert Ron. Jason, what do you think of this meme?
Oh, all those bands.
I'm sorry.
Megatron, Voltron. There's so many Rons on that list. It's insane.
I know.
Ron 95, Ron 97. We need Ron 1980.
Ron 888, right?
Yeah.
Ronnie Shine 888. The thing that they never isolated that makes you new again, right? That's what we need to get in everybody. I'm going to move on. That one made me laugh. So this one's a big mover. A lot of people definitely like this one. It says, the longer I remain unjaboled, the more evidence I see supporting my decision. Jason, what say you on this one?
Yeah, it just keeps piling up. So we were at the leading edge of calling this whole thing out. And so we did it with the least amount of evidence. Now we have 2 years of evidence compiled. And it's a very compelling case that this whole thing is not good for your health. The remedies we're talking about.
YD's asking, did you take offense to those memes? No, I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, how many times can they put the word Ron up on the screen? It just makes me laugh. But this one here, not only that, Jason, but what we were discussing today, and I'll say this cryptically, but not 33.3 cryptically. No, I'm just going to say it like this. If you guys knew what they had to do to create the Jebolas, there's absolutely no way you'd put it into your bodies. We saw a video today of a woman explaining it's how do I say this cryptically? They need a living tissue, and it comes from
fetal cells.
What we came out of our parents. That very first moment, they have to extract it. Then and they put that into the Jabarolas. It's gross. And the last one of the day. And please, everybody, if you got anything out of this, if you want to see more of this, if you're not my friend, but I'm also at 5,000 people, so you might just have to follow my content. Everything's public. If the friend, also, I don't have a friend request button. They took that away from me. It says, who killed Goliath? And it's empty space, VID. The kid says. Oh,
that one's good.
COVID. I was waiting for your laugh.
That one's good. That one's brilliant, actually. I love that one.
You like this one? This is the best one tonight?
That's my favorite.
Okay, because the answer is David.
Yeah.
David killed Goliath. Jason knows that. And I was hoping that I'd get a laugh out of you, brother, because I put a lot of work into this, and so does Villar. We're a team. I've explained it over and over again. And, you know, so this has a biblical higher level understanding. Also mixed in with it is the cerveza bug.
Yeah, mockery of that.
Mockery of that all at once, right? So this is what I want to say. If you guys got anything out of these memes and you want to see us every Friday do something like this, a segment, let us know and we will do it, because, you know, I can share the memes and I write captions. I definitely don't just post them. I put captions on them as well. We can talk about certain memes and we can show people the memes and we can give a higher understanding and share with people a few laughs, because that's really the goal, is to share truth and to have a laugh. That's what I want, right, Jay?
Yeah,
what about you?
I want to have fun too. I want to fight battles for the truth, wins, but I want to have a good time doing it too, where it's not all serious all the time, where we have some great laughs. And memes are great for that.
So what I wrote here is, hey, watch out for the government too, yelled the man with the aluminum foil hat, right? Because it's not tinfoil, people. The hats that we're wearing are made out of aluminum. So again, did you know about this though? Believe me when I tell you, I believe, right? So I enjoy doing the memes. It's something I've been passionate about for a while. And I want to inspire other people to create memes, to share them. And one of the most important things is people like Joseph, YD, as well as Beckashine. You guys all contribute. You leave your thoughts below the memes. We want you to do the same thing here on YouTube, but it really does help when people share the memes and when they say something about it in the comments. We start to build a community of like-minded people and we work together. And that's the goal here. I just put my caption with it. I put my spirit into the content that I bring to the table. And I have a big responsibility on my shoulders, because my own daughter sees the content. Other people see it. So I don't just post up the crazy, sexual, funny, like, albeit those memes make me laugh, but I'm super careful with the content that I put in front of my eyes and that I put in front of other people's eyes. And I want you guys to be on the other side of the screen. So this will conclude, Jason, tell me when you get the thumbnail. This will conclude the memes of the week edition here on the Friday Night Podcast. And while I got the time, I'll let you guys know we are your top search for information regarding Christianity, simulation reality, and the flat out proofs, only on the Yahawahashai News Network.
Yeah, so I've got the screen share going now. I just got to get it back to you. And
thank you very much.
We'll get into some scriptures. And we're going to be talking about people's foreheads a little bit. YD does post her own memes, and she does do posts in writing as well. I always appreciate them very much, as well as Joseph has been a huge mover and shaker. He's been posting up poetry. He's been posting up, he was teaching people that they need to get back to having forgiveness, right? And doing kind deeds. A bunch of the stuff that Joseph's been writing has been excellent. I want to promote that. I want to inspire more of that. And I want everyone else to be like Joseph and just start sharing, and YD as well. Beautiful posts. Although YD has been going after the New Flu Order hard. I don't know too many people that do. But now, let's move on to the next segment, brother. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah. So I just did a search for Bible verses about foreheads, because we're going to be talking about the marks on both the good and bad people's foreheads. There's 23 of them that came up in this search right here. It starts out with a lot of the Old Testament, right? It does have one verse from Revelation here. This is Revelation 24. Then I saw thrones, and they that sat on them, and judgment was given to them. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony of Yahawahashai, and because of the word of Yahweh, and those who had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had not received the mark on their foreheads and on their hand, and they came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. So this is a scripture that we just went through recently, and super important. So there is a mark on people's foreheads that are going to be destroyed. All right, so it's talking about those that didn't worship the beast, didn't have the image, they didn't have that mark on their foreheads, and they got to, but keep in mind, they got beheaded. All right, and I saw those who had been beheaded because of their testimony, and they came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. We showed the other scriptures where it talks about this being the first resurrection. And so there's that one, but there's one that a lot of people may not be paying attention to, and that's in Revelation 7:3. Now there's a number of other places, so I've got this list here, but I'd like to go to Revelation 7 and just do a read of Revelation 7 right now. And this is where the 144,000 are sealed. And it says here, after this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth. So us being true Bible earthers, right? This is a key point. The Freemason New World Order AE Mappa model doesn't have 4 corners. It's a circle. There's no corners. Holding back the 4 winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or on the sea or on any tree. And then I saw another angel coming up from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. He's got a seal. He called out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea, "Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our Elohim." Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from the 12 tribes of Judah, right? Or Israel.
Yep. I want to point out now, while we got a chance with a pause, the Great Tribulation isn't going to begin until this is done. The one who came with the seal of the living Yahawah is Christ. Okay. He is the one carrying the seal, and he's the one who told the angels at the 4 corners, hold back the winds, right? Well, I'm assuming, sorry, I always want to be as careful as I am with people, but in my opinion, it would be the Christ who would be the one with the seal and the power. But, so this won't take place, the Great Tribulation, the destruction of the land, the waters being held back, everything turned to blood, wormwood, a star falling into the ocean. There's a bunch of things that are about to come upon the earth, but it looks like 144,000 have to be sealed, 12,000 from each tribe.
Sealed on their foreheads with the seal of the living Elohim. So we're going to get a little bit more detail as to what that seal is coming up, but 12,000 from 12 tribes is 144,000. That is the number that is sealed up before the Great Tribulation starts. So one other thing to point out, Jason, is we've got the 12 tribes, and what it looks like is we should have basically 12,000 people from many of the different cultures. Now, a lot of them do sort of piggyback on each other, like, Italians, and then you've got Greek people, and you have all these different Germans, and you have all these different groups of people, and it looks like 12,000 from each of those. So we need to find these people. We need to wake them up. We need them to become who they need to be. We need the Father to do this too. That's who we should all be praying, everyone on the other side of the screen, that the Father's will be done, which means he's got to seal these people for us. We need this to happen. Well, and if you see the context, it's the angels that actually do the marking. So,
messenger, right?
Yep. And then we have another scene here, but the timing has changed now. So now we have a great multitude in white robes. And it says, after this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. So there becomes a little bit of question as to, when we're talking about the throne and before the Lamb, is this a heavenly scene or is this an earthly scene? We don't exactly know, but the likelihood is that this is an earthly scene, and I'll point that out in just a little bit.
Yeah, my quick point is that, remember, this is also a time-traveling scene. John was brought forth into the future. This is post-tribulation.
Because he says after this.
Hang on.
After this.
Okay, yeah. Right? The one reason I might debunk or jump the gun here on you, but if it's post-tribulation, there's a new heavens and a new earth. So this isn't in the heaven that we think it is now.
Yeah, so what we can tell coming up here is that the people are in their millennial bodies. So it is post-tribulation. It says,
it's earth.
And they cried out in a loud voice, "Salvation belongs to our Elohim, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb." All the angels were standing around the throne and around the elders and the 4 living creatures. They fell down on their faces before the throne and worshipped Yahawah, saying, "Amen. Praise and glory and wisdom and thanks and honor and power and strength be to our Elohim forever and ever. Amen." Now we get some details. Then one of the elders asked me, "These in the white robes, who are they, and where did they come from?" I answered, "Sir, you know." And he said, "These are they who came out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
Made them white.
Therefore, they are before the throne of Yahawah and serve him day and night in his temple. And he who sits on the throne will shelter them with his presence. Never again will they hunger. Never again will they thirst. The sun will not beat down on them, nor any scorching heat." So these are the things that are promised with our millennial bodies. We aren't going to hunger. We aren't going to thirst. We're not going to feel pain or suffering anymore. So it requires a change in body, and that is something that we know is we're going to have those types of bodies for the millennial reign. And going
the Father
forward.
And the Son.
Yeah.
Not the S-U-N, S-O-N.
"For the Lamb at the center of the throne will be their shepherd, and he will lead them to springs of living water, and Yahawah will wipe away every tear from their eyes."
Yeah, that's the beautiful part right there. So not only is he going to be a shepherd like unto David, but to all the people, he's going to wipe away all the tears. So there's going to be no sadness. There's going to be no pain, no suffering, no need for a sun and a moon, because the lights of us are going to be brilliantly light everywhere, right? There's going to be so many different things that we've been waiting for that we just can't wait. Jason's very excited for this.
Yeah, so if we put this all in context, we have before the destruction comes, right? We have 144,000 people that get sealed. So we know that these people are the ones. The question was asked earlier, is there going to be another Exodus? Yeah. Just like the Exodus from Egypt, there is going to be an Exodus to the Promised Land from the 4 corners of the earth. From 12,000 from each of the tribes. These are guaranteed. These are sealed. They are going to have these marks on their forehead. So that group of people is guaranteed not only the first half of the Great Tribulation, but then millennial reign lives as well. But, as we pointed out, there is the whole chopping off of the head thing that we probably going to have to deal with. So,
oh yeah.
If we go back to this other link, so we just read all of Revelation 7. Go ahead. Somebody's
trying to, I guess Jerry is trying to explain me again. The Christ, not the Son. Yes, it's the Son, the living Son of the living Father. You can call him Christ, right? Because he was a Christian, the first one, the Son of the living Father, right? The breath of life was blown into him, not born of a man. He was born from the Heavenly Father. He is the Son, and there's the one of him. That's why we constantly say he is the Son of the living Father, because he was literally born from the breath of the Father, not from a man, right? So I'm just going to end that part there.
Yeah, so we read all of Revelation 7. Now, Revelation 9:4, we get the forehead again. It says, "They were told not to hurt the grass of the earth, nor any green thing." We learned about this in Revelation 7, nor any tree, but only the men who do not have the seal of Yahawah on their foreheads.
Uh-oh. You don't want to be in that group, huh?
No. So in Revelation 7, the angels are being told to mark these people out, don't harm anything. All right. And now we're learning that now the grass of the earth, the green things, all these things are going to be hurt. And the people that don't have the seal on their foreheads, they're going to get hurt. So then the next scripture with the forehead is Revelation 14:1. "Then I looked, and behold, the Lamb was standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his name and the name of his Father written on their foreheads. So that seal that we learned about in Revelation 7 are names. The name of the Son and the Father. So this is another one of these huge Trinitarian debunks. There's a Son and a Father, and they have two different names. So it's anybody that's saying that knowing the true name's not important. Well, it's these names that are literally going to be saving people. They're going to have them written on their foreheads.
Go figure, it's the same name. The Son came in the Father's name to witness and testify to the Father, and the Father then witnesses and testifies back to the Son. That's how this works. They don't need anyone else, you guys. We're all just added in for the Father's glory.
Revelation 22:4. They will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads.
Hang on a second. That's a very important scripture right there, right? People are going to know who they're witnessing. It's a clear statement. They will see his face, and his name will be upon their forehead. So there's a good chance that everybody should, be asking to see the face of the Father and his begotten Son. So I don't know how many people have seen that, but hopefully it starts happening soon.
All right. So those are the good marks. Revelation 13:16. This is the bad mark, and he causes all, the small and the great, and the rich and the poor, the free men and the slaves, to be given a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. So there's going to be marking on the forehead going one direction or the other. You're either going to have mark of Satan, or you're going to have the mark of the Father and the Son.
That's true. 100%, brother.
Revelation 14:11, similar. Then another angel, a third one, followed them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and his image and receives a mark on his forehead or on his hand. It doesn't finish that whole verse, but we know what that's about.
You don't want to have that one.
And then there's another name on a forehead. That's Revelation 17:5. And on her forehead a name was written, a mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of earth. So this being marked on the forehead, it's a common theme all throughout the scriptures. We didn't go through the Old Testament, but there was marking on the forehead being done back then. Let's see, there was one that had to do with, where is it? Yeah, marking people on the forehead is a thing. Ezekiel 9:4, the Lord said to him, go through the midst of the city, even through the midst of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of the men who sigh and groan over the abominations which are being committed in the midst.
Ooh, that's a big scripture right there. People need to understand that you're lamenting your pain, the emotions that you're going through as this wickedness is taking place. It's absolutely being tracked. It's being categorized, and you're the people who are going to have your foreheads marked.
In the good way. In the good way.
In the good way. In the good way. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, so I just wanted to go through that marking process, because it's key to the beginning of the Great Tribulation as well, because there's 144,000 that get marked at the beginning of the Great Tribulation for the good. Yeah,
for the good. And also we're just starting to slowly dip our feet into the water, getting people prepared that you might have to run towards the guillotine. And we want you to run towards it. If we have to do something to participate in society, if we find ourselves in camps and there's a guillotine line and a line to people with what that shall not be named, take the guillotine line. It's the quickest, easiest way out. And you just heard, you get to reign. You get to be right with Christ, not his bride. You're not going to marry him. Okay. This goes for men and women. I'm not going to get into the wicked servant stuff. I did put the link to the Zoom hangout in the chat, where we've got 45 minutes to have you guys on and hear what you guys want to add, not talking about the thing that we can't talk about. Okay. We don't want to get into that. If you want to discuss any of the other topics, we welcome you. You're going to bring up that wicked servant, that Judaizer, that Beriah, the guy who came out with a bunch of, he goes on and on. He's going to give you all these pre-trib rapture scriptures. And he talks about Enoch being proof of the pre-tribulation rapture. That's the Father took Enoch. Not Enoch was so righteous. He wrote down everything he was told to. He taught the generations of people that were under him like a true king would. And he did this. He was the 7th from Adam. He was super young. And the Father said, I'm bringing you up to where I am for eternity. Enoch went to there. So what I'm trying to state is there is absolutely zero scriptures that are conclusive, that back and prove that we actually get pre-tribulation raptured. But we just went through tons of them that say that you have to give your life during the tribulation, right? These are the truths that people don't want to hear. And the wicked servants, they'll come to you in a false light, and they're going to tell you things to tickle your ear. You need to run as far as you can from these people, especially if they come around teaching children style when they have children that are grown up and married, right? And they're still placating Kabbalism with Judaism and then marketing it out to children, right? You need to watch out for these people because the scriptures forewarned us that there would be tons of these people in the end times. You know, you guys, just a tangent that I'm going on while we wait for people to click on the link. Yahawahashai told us to watch. He said it would be like the days of Noah. If you don't know what they were doing before the flood, they were doing what we talked about with the stem cells from those that shall be first born quickly and young. They take them out without killing the thing. They take it alive. These are things, they were messing with animals and humans. They were abominations against all things that were righteous. And we are absolutely, I can ring this bell 1,000 times. We are absolutely seeing all of this stuff being fulfilled right down to the jot and tittle from the scriptures. And this is what gets me when I see people try to argue, well, because the scriptures are in all the hotels, it's the most, it's fake. No, the scriptures are there so that you're held accountable, so that when the Father, when you stand before him, you're not going to say that you didn't have an opportunity to read his guidebook because it was put everywhere. And if you guys don't know, in Canada, they passed a bill called the C4 bill, pun intended. It's an explosive bill where they've now said that you can't re-educate someone that's suffering from, what do we call it, gender dysphoria. They then went on to state that the scriptures are actually myths. And this is coming from a country that had its national anthem rooted out of Psalms. It was from the book of Psalms. They mangled that. They've taken that out because it was all thy sons command, and they made it to all ours command. Makes me sick to my stomach. I almost want to curse, but I bridle my tongue. I know someone has joined us, but people, watch out for the wicked times that we are upon. It's not something to be fearful for. This is something to cheer for. Right? Straight to that guillotine as quick as possible. I know Jason wants out. YD wants out. So many people want out. I'm the only one that doesn't want out. I want to stay here throughout it all to make sure I can reach as many people as possible. I even want Alex Stein, 99, and Jaron to make it. That's who I am, and I'm not going to change for anybody. I know we got people jumping in, Jason. I'll end this rant now.
Yeah, so we've got Muriel, who does not appear to have a microphone selected yet. Not seeing a mic for you. And we have Bass Kelly, who I thought I saw a microphone, but I don't now. So there is an up arrow next to the microphone on the Zoom app where when you click that arrow, you should get a list of available microphones. And that's where you can select the microphone that you think would be best. Just remember to please not have the live stream audio up when you do unmute, and please be careful. Muriel's got a microphone showing up now, and please don't talk about medical stuff that is going to get a community guideline strike. Make sure you use code words. We have Joseph joining now, so we've got 3 people that have joined.
Nobody can talk.
Muriel
can?
Muriel should if she unmutes.
How's it going, Muriel? How's Québécois? How you doing in the French land?
Oh boy.
How's it going? Bonjour.
It's just fun.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. How you been?
Thanks for coming on all the time and imparting your knowledge with us. It's very important that we pay attention.
Yeah, well, thank you. So what are you seeing? What's the world sharing with you right now?
Well, I see pretty much all of Ronnie's stuff. I share some of that stuff. I share some of my own stuff. But I just started a new job, so I'm kind of concentrating on that and trying to find another apartment possibly. And yeah, I've things have been kind of busy and hopefully getting, I don't know, somewhat back on track. But I mean, like, we had to rush home today because there's a curfew in effect here and we forgot about it while we were out. So it was like, it's just very weird.
Well, I appreciate your support.
Stinks.
Go ahead, Jay.
I really feel for the people in Canada, Australia. They seem to have the most amount of pressure applied to them. So we're fortunate being in Texas. I think we might actually be in one of the most free places in the world right now. And I appreciate that. And then at the same time, I mourn and feel for everybody that's in tougher situations.
Well said. Well said. And I appreciate all your help, Muriel. And I do appreciate you fighting for the truth. I see everything that everybody does. And I'm always a supporter of yours, Muriel. And I'm constantly praying that things go well for you and that you continue to fight for the truth.
Always. That will always be a standing, running thing in my life. Always has been, always will be.
Amen. Who do we have next ready to say hi? Don't be shy, everybody. Come on. Well, the whole heavenly and earthly realm is participating tonight with you.
We have
hey, I'm here.
Seth.
Oh, we got the birthday boy. Happy birthday.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm doing good. Thanks, Muriel. I literally just got in my in the house, and I've been out with some friends tonight. Went over to the island that's nearby. It's called Hilton Head Island. Went out, had a bunch of oysters, then went to somebody's house and they had a fire pit outside, and had some good fellowship, and just made it home. So I'm late joining in. So I'm gonna have to like rewind and catch the beginning of this hangout.
You missed the meme part, bro.
Yeah, I caught the very tail end of as I was driving. I have like my car mount where I put my phones. I'm like watching the very tail end of the memes, and then I got home and had to get set up here at home, get the computer up and running, and I saw you had call-ins. So I'm just like calling in, like got an opportunity to talk with you guys and connect with the team. It's been a while since we've done this, so it's just awesome. Yeah, man, I tell you, I won't say any medical terms or anything to get YouTube strikes. So I'll be careful about that. But man, because I'm in the medical field, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I won't say any specifics. But wow, what an absolute, to borrow Bob's term, what a clown shoe world I am in right now, guys. I won't go into detail, but holy crap, it is just clown shoe city.
I would say it's more of adversarial crap.
I mean, I am just like so done with this stuff. I'm just totally done with it. I'm not going to say details. So talking generalities, non-specifics, but yeah, this is really hard. On the good news, I do have some good news. I started a new job as a nurse practitioner, and like I've been on the job for like less than a month, and they already gave me a raise. Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like they were every January they give people raises. I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a raise because I just started here. And the boss called me into the office and got a pretty substantial raise. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, I'll take it. Great, thank you. That's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah. And my job, I travel to patients' houses. I see people in their homes and where they live, and even got a raise on my mileage rate. So I'll take it. That's great. Any extra that comes my way, I'll just count it all as a be moring, not a be lessing, a be moring, because I just give all honor and glory to the Father, Yahawahashai I just give glory to him. I just like want to elevate praises to him for everything the good that happens in my life, and any adversity that happens. I just count it all glory, because things are not going to be easy in this world, right? You know, we're going to have adversity, and I just know the end. We know the end game. We know how it all ends because we've read the book, we've read the scriptures, we have the plan, the game plan. So knowing how it ends, it gives me a reassurance, and knowing that it's coming soon, and having you guys, I know I sing you guys praises a lot, and I know you don't like to be showered with praises and stuff, but let me tell you, the content, like the other night, I'm just watching you guys do that breakdown of Mark Sargent, and I'm like, you know, I used to watch Mark Sargent, you know, and think, oh, this is a great flat earther, you know, flat earth truth. And the way you guys just methodically broke down point after point, pointing out the psyops that this guy was running, it was so enlightening to be able to have that level of truth, and to have you guys promote the real flat earth, you know. And
yeah,
I know I made a comment about it.
What
it's
sucks,
just so awesome.
What sucks with Mark is he says that we're in a simulation, and from a game design standpoint, and then he comes out and says, you know, we're wrong, but we're the guys that prove that we're in a simulation, and that the physical model of the AE mappa model doesn't work. So taking it to being in a simulation of a dome makes no sense. So he contradicts himself over and over, and as time goes on and the more we get to know, the easier it is to see each time these people contradict their own selves.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Mark Sargent and is definitely, he's controlled opposition. I mean, it's almost laughable the way you guys break it down and the way you present it, like point by point, like the part, like specifically the part where, well, we see too far. If the ship goes out of sight, we can just zoom in and bring it back. Well, no, that's not what happens. Actually, when it's Ronnie and Jason have clearly pointed out, we have a circle of sight, and once things leave our circle of sight, we can't just magically zoom back in on it, you know. And that was a big mind-blowing truth for me, because
once it crosses the vanishing point.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are like the only guys out there promoting this. I mean, the other flat earthers are just promoting lies. I mean, like, they're just not, that's not reality. And then this whole thing about the cold, what was it, the temperature of the moon, you know.
The moonlight temperature thing was the psyop too.
Well, I tested it, and I couldn't verify that it was true. I didn't get any difference in the reading whatsoever.
But there are some properties to the moon that I'll bring up really quick. One, you can dry and preserve foods in the moonlight differently than you can in the sunlight. Two, fires. If you're into having a campfire and the full moon is up, you actually have more of a flaming fire on those nights. These are things that we can actually test and observe.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. So recently I've been listening to at night. I've been listening to Enoch, the Book of Enoch, and Robert Sefer.
Who?
Which Robert
Farrell.
Robert Farrell. Oh,
yeah, the other guy's a shill.
I'm sorry. That's
all right. We don't want to name drop him. He's bad.
Sorry.
Oh, he's bad. He's gross.
Sorry. That was
okay. We know what you mean. Continue.
Yeah, that was
the first book of Enoch, Seth, or the second book? And are these the only two books that you've been listening to?
The first book, yeah.
Okay.
But which brings me to another point. Jason, on your channel, you had a lot of Enoch content, but then when you had the YouTube strikes, you had hid all of your channel, and then you slowly were adding things back, like video by video. that would be great if you could add the Enoch content back, because I would like to dive into it.
Sure.
Reread the 2 books.
Yeah. I don't think it's on your channel now.
Yeah, I'll probably have to get it republished. Yeah,
that would be great, because honestly, Robert Farrell, I appreciate his work, but it's kind of dated. Like the audio recording is pretty. It's getting a little.
Ours
dated.
is dated too, actually, Seth. We probably should do it again, I guess, if we want the quality.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But I really would like to take a deeper dive into Enoch. And the reason why I know this, because Jason, when you said you were going to be pulling all your stuff down, I went through your whole channel and saved all these videos, links to a Telegram thing on Telegram, where I have just a private Telegram thing that I have. But I noticed once you went private with them, the links didn't work. So it really didn't do me any good to save all those links. I thought it would.
Yeah, we've run into that problem. That's why we started using Odyssey. So we'll continue to get those back. And when we do, they'll be up on Odyssey as well, on Jason's Odyssey channel. They go straight to it, Seth. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's just one of the ways.
You'll actually notice if the Odyssey link is in the description box, and so I have it set up where it is actually, it's keeping up with everything that I have published on YouTube. It's being put up on Odyssey, and that means that this is supposed to be blockchain technology that once you use these links, they should never disappear.
Oh, that's nice. So when you upload on YouTube, Odyssey like picks it up and puts it on their server. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the way I have it set up, and I was surprised.
Oh, that's nice.
I was surprised that when I take a video off of private and just have it public again, that it's grabbing those as well. So this should actually be a complete thing as I get all the YouTube stuff back up.
Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that.
We had a dissenter in the chat that brought up, supposedly this guy thinks that he can somehow debunk the righteous scribe from the books of Enoch. If you actually do the research, you'll be able to parabolically line up almost verse for verse with most of what Yahawahashai said, who most people call Earth Pig, which is Jesus. Not only that, the book of Revelation also quotes many things from the books of Enoch, as well as you can line these different things up. Enoch saw everything. He wrote everything down that was going to happen throughout the whole entire millennium, all of the millennials, all of the thousands of years. And I'm going to give Jason a meme to show when I get to it. Not only does the book of Enoch, because I think he said something about Catholics, not only was the book of Enoch found in the Ethiopian Gospels, so they went to churches in Ethiopia where the Holy Spirit was sent, right? They found it there. They found it in Oxyrhynchus, right? They also found it in the Dead Sea Scrolls and in the Sand Sea Scrolls. There's multiple places where that book has been brought back. The scriptures have been analyzed and verified. So it's not just like the book of Enoch just showed up from the Vatican. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And if anyone wants to spew that nonsense here, you better be able to come on this camera and back it up in a debate against me, because I will stand with the book of Enoch. I will stand with all of the scriptures, and I will let man be the liar. I'll let you on the other side of the screen lie all you want, because you have no clue what you're saying. If you're talking ill against the book of Enoch, you're in a very dangerous position.
Absolutely. Another thing I'd like to point out is I'm really appreciative and just loving the content about the even though you've been talking about it since 2017, is the nature of our realm. The flat earth content, the stereographic representation of our realm with the two polar points that can wrap to a sphere. I just love that content. And there was a couple hangouts, I think it was last Friday, maybe you were going into it. And I just feel like we could have got a little deeper in it, but it got sidetracked a little bit by, there were some dissenters in the chat that were kind of distracting. I'm trying to think. Anyway, I don't have to name names, but we kind of got like I was just I'm devouring the content. So as much content as you want to put out about flat Earth, about our realm. I just want to encourage you guys to.
We're going to keep doing it, and
I love it.
So, Jason, I do want you to pull something up, and I'm going to read it because someone brought up that they didn't believe the Book of Enoch. So I'm about to truth-splain you and use you as an example. I'm not going to say your name. I'm just going to show everybody how ridiculous you are. Also, Seth, yeah, I'm not going to get the hangout we did about the maps and models. I was way too fired up. Sometimes, I just show up and the Father puts the words in my mouth, and he was pretty aggressive, I guess.
I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking, there were some guys in the chats that were.
I'm explaining to you what my outlook was. So we want to continue to do videos on the map and model of reality, the way that we've defined the truths, the way that we've seen it. And I'll try not to be as aggressive. So as soon as Jason has that meme up real quick, I'll read it out loud. I know I'm making things tough. Okay, here we go. It says the Ethiopian Bible is the oldest and complete Bible on earth. Written in Ge'ez, an ancient dead language of Ethiopia, it's nearly 800 years older than the King James. And the Ethiopian Bible here contains 80 to 81 books compared to the only 66. It includes the book of Enoch, Ezra, Baruch, and 3 books of the Maccabees, and a host of others that was excommunicated from the King James version. Okay, so anybody that wants to come out here and tell me that the book of Enoch is satanic, or that it's written from the Vatican, you are an absolute shill and you're a misinformation. If you're a misinformer, you're doing a disservice to the truth. And I am absolutely against you. And I will mock you. I will ridicule you. I will point you out, and I will do whatever it takes until you people stop blaspheming Enoch. He is a righteous scribe who did everything that the Father told him to, and he was taken from the earth. He didn't have to die. Okay. So, and the second question, the third book of Enoch gets into a lot of Kabbalism, right? And again, Jason and I don't want to come out and tell you guys that it's not truth in there, because we see the deception that we'll let man be the liars and the inspired word be the truth. But what I can tell you is the book of Enoch didn't just come from this. It came from multiple places. They dug it out of the ground in pits. They found it in salt caves. There was multiple ways that these books came back to us. And it was prophesied in the book of Ezra that would exactly be done. The books were going to be taken away and then they would be put back into place. This is what we've been teaching for years.
That is awesome about the Ethiopian Bible. I just wasn't aware of that they have the 81 to 88 books. Mm-hmm. That's pretty awesome, man. Yeah,
it had the infancy gospel. It had a bunch of gospels that there's the next book that we're going to be reading. Is there anybody else on the podcast that hasn't spoken? Is Joseph here? We're going to be getting into the infancy. Here. We're going to be getting into the infancy gospel of who was it that wrote Thomas, right? And just like the book of Thomas was taken out, the book of Thomas was most likely in these collections, is the infancy gospel according to Thomas. And wait till you guys see the supernatural abilities that Yahawahashai had, the Christ, the King, the Lord of Lords, the one and only begotten Son of the Most High. We're going to be getting into that book on Sunday. You're not going to want to miss that. So, Joseph, welcome, man. Sorry, Seth, to cut you off. We could let Seth go on for hours and hours, but I definitely want to hear from you, Joseph. How you doing? How is Detroit?
Oh,
or Michigan, sorry.
Yeah, it's cold here, but yeah, no, it's going great. Happy birthday, Seth. Good to talk to you guys. Yeah, no, I can't wait for you guys to go through the infancy gospel.
Thomas.
From Thomas. Yeah, oh man.
Right, bro. Wait till you guys hear it. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's oh man, it's really, really good. I absolutely love that.
Do you know that book?
What's that?
Do you know the book?
Yes.
So in that book, we get the true account of how the scriptures were fulfilled, that out of Egypt, I shall call my son, the Christ, the King. There's so many things that we learn. We learn about Judas as a kid. We learn that Yahawahashai actually grew up with the apostles, right? Yeah. It's not something like that. He didn't know them, right? And these are the reasons how, okay, so we did touch upon this, Joseph. I'll say this quick and give it back to you. I'm just ranting tonight. I've had a coffee. I'm excited. They took the books out to create confusion so that they could sow wicked seeds and tares among the scriptures. Okay. And what we've done, one of our fundamental truths was restoring the true scriptures back into the position. So if you don't read the book of Adam and Eve, you don't realize that Cain and Abel both had twin sisters. they were supposed to switch, and that the DNA, or however you want to call it, the genes were going to be passed down equally. But Cain took his own sister. She was older and he thought she was more beautiful. If you don't read the book of Adam and Eve, you won't learn that. If you don't read the book of the infancy gospel of Thomas, you're going to miss out on so many miracles, so many things that point out the prophecies being fulfilled, right up into the donkey that he rode in on. There's a whole story behind all that. You guys are going to love it. Back to you, Joseph.
I know oh man, it's so good. Like you said, it's just, man, especially with the apostles and all that, and just, oh man, it's really, really good. I can't wait.
Every time we get more detail and can see a more clear picture, it's super fun and exciting. You tie it together with all the other stuff and you just have a much more clear picture of what was taking place.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. I also wanted to say your flat earth video, Ronnie, man, that was top of the line.
That
was awesome.
To say the the Matrix movie kind of sucked a little bit, right? They could have put a lot more story with Morpheus and jumping timelines. Jason and I could have done a much better job, but I felt like I was trying to resurrect the truth of the flat earth, and the two clips and everything, paint the sky with rainbows at the end. I really enjoyed making that, Joseph. And the story behind that was I spent a week kind of making graphics and sort of working with lettering, and a whole week just building the video. And it was the very last clip that I made. I sneezed, and it was instantaneously, I came down with a sickness. I was sick. And the ending, you could really tell that my voice was a little bit weak. But I really enjoyed making that video, and I'm going to be making more videos, just shorter ones, coming out soon. So I'm glad you liked that, brother. For me, it was like a nostalgia kind of thing, because once people start seeing the Great Plains, when you realize that most of North America, most of all the continents are actually flat plains, right? They usually have mountainous regions on the sides, due to the fact that when the earth split open and the waters burst forth from the underneath, right, raining down from the heavens, that's how it happened. It created the mountainous ranges, and we have the valleys like the Salar, which is so huge. It's 10,000 square kilometers, and it's flat. You can use an altimeter. So it was really fun to make that video, brother. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you could better understand your reality off that video.
Oh, absolutely. And just amazing, especially the Great Plains, and then that highway in Australia, and just the
air. I was calling it the Erie, the air highway, Highway 1.
Yeah.
It's 1,200 miles, and it's flat.
But the Salar de Uni, man, seeing those people out there, oh man, the look on that girl's face, and it just, oh man, you could just see it, like, so amazing.
Yeah, that
How
place.
Cool would it be there?
But the thing about it too, I know, if only that the cerveza bug thing, right? But if you actually look at it, and if you do it, I kind of put a symbolism in there, and you caught it, I believe. I put a warped mirror on the screen when I was reading the section about mirrors. See, the thing with mirrors are, if there's any distortion in them, everything gets completely blurred out, stretched, skewed. Everyone's been in a fun house, right? You got in front of the fun mirrors and you looked crazy. The fact that everything is mirrored so perfectly that you can't tell where the sky begins and ends, right? That means that it's absolutely flat, and you can use an altimeter. You can go through it, the whole thing, and there's less than 1 meter of variation.
Such a good point. Yeah, I totally agree. That's, like you said, that totally flat. There's no distortion or anything like that in the reflection.
I believe, now that you got me on this, and I don't know if Jason, I've been just sorry. I want to say humbly that if I'm taking over things, I'm just really excited tonight to have you guys on. If you think about it, it looks like the Great Flood created that place. The Father knew that we would then go and research, because he knew what we were going to do before we did it, and we would find it. It was a beautiful gift that he left us to prove our reality, right? So what do you guys think about that point?
I love that place, because no matter how you look at it, it breaks the heliocentric model. So if you're trying to visualize, because it's at high altitude, that salt flat is. It's at very high altitude. What was it, 12,000 feet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's massive because Colorado's only got a few peaks over 14,000 feet. So we're talking about a very high plane. And because it only has 1 meter variation across 80 miles in width, I think it was, if you draw that out, you model that out, the altimeter, like, so Ronnie's talking about how altimeters are actually tested to see how accurate they are at this location. And the altimeter in the middle would have to be showing a lower sea level, because if you flatten off that width of section across what would be a sphere, you could have the same altitude all the way around the perimeter of that flat, but then you would have a different sea level in the middle because you flatten it off, right? So altimeters measure to sea level, and because it only varies by 1 meter across the whole thing, you know that the whole thing is flat and that we're not on a sphere.
Yeah, I've even got more memes that show more graphics about the true nature of our realm. If I could find them, I'll send you some. But what you're stating is absolutely the reason why I absolutely loved when I found out the Solar, because it absolutely, if you were to try to take a square section and then in a modeling program, put that square over the globe, you're going to see that it's thousands of feet missing curvature. Thousands. Like this is something that cannot be missed. It can't be overlooked. So that's why it was the crux of my presentation, along with mixing in some of the great content that you created, Jason. When we know that a gyroscope flies rigid, once you set it on the ground, it stays fixed to that degree. If a plane was to fly around the Earth, it would have to process. That gyroscope would be upside down halfway around the sphere of the Earth. Be upside down, right? Mm-hmm. And yet that's absolutely not what we measure.
No.
Absolutely. And one thing, like, even like, just if you're talking about a spinning globe, like it's spinning fast enough to where, like, say you were playing with your dog throwing a tennis ball or something, and you threw a tennis ball way up in the air, and like, don't you think it would move a little bit before it hit the ground, because and land in a different spot? Like, none of it makes sense.
Well, you would be able to see this in an airplane if Earth's rotating and you're in an airplane, so you're in a different frame of reference. If you're flying north and south and the Earth's spinning, east to west, it's rotating like that. So you would actually see your landing strip moving across in front of you until you were just about to line up with it, and then the pilot would have to make some crazy move to keep it down on the runway, because 1,000 miles an hour is really fast.
Right.
I'll send you some more memes, Jason, if you could pull up. There's two that I just sent that go hand in hand with the topic.
Faster because than that's the speed of light. Speed of sound.
The 1,030 miles at the equator, it absolutely destroys. So if you were to measure gold at the equator, right, it would be much lighter, because the Earth is spinning. If there was such a thing as gravity and it was due to the spin of the Earth, at the North Pole or in Alaska, where they mine tons of gold, it would be way more expensive. And this is absolutely against everything. When you have an troy ounce of gold in Alaska, it'll weigh 1 troy ounce of gold on the equator. This absolutely does away with the theory that we're on a spinning sphere. It's stupid. Here's a meme that says, water always finds its level. And it shows how if you were to be at one side of the land and you were to measure with the water level, when you go to the other side of the land, it'll also be level. What do you think of that meme? I don't know if everybody can see. I think they can, right?
I think that's pretty straightforward right there. Water finds its level.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like you say, we build buildings with it. We build structures, flat slabs of concrete, you name it.
Yeah. Anything we want to level, we can use water. Yeah. As well, when it rests, it's just level.
Yes.
And I'm still waiting on anyone in this realm to reproduce an experiment of a spinning ball, water wrapping around a spinning ball. I really would like to see that duplicated anywhere. And the scientist, air quote, they can't duplicate that.
Absolutely not.
The water flies away from the ball when it spins.
Yeah. Centrifugal force, right?
Centrifugal force.
Not centripetal. That's fake. So here's another meme. It says, how can the earth be a globe when we know from Mexico to Vietnam, it's flat, no curvature. Sea level has no curvature. Hence the name sea level. It's not sea curve, right? It's sea level. That's the measurement that we measure, because Yahawahashai said he brought the waters forth and then he rose the land up out of the waters. And Jason, what did he encompass the bounds with? Waters. He didn't encompass the bounds with ice. Like the fake flat earthers are going to tell you with their pizza pie UN flying in outer space, free, what is it called? The Flat Earth Society style. No, waters. The boundaries are waters. Bounded the earth with water.
There you go.
So yeah, that's just another one. I don't know what other screen shares. So who did we have? We have Muriel, we've got Seth, we've got Joseph. Is that who we've got in the room tonight with us?
We also have a Bass Kelly, but still no microphone showing up.
Oh,
so
that's no good.
Bass Kelly, you have to click the arrow that's next to the microphone and look to see if you have a microphone that you can select.
How about we do a segment? Does anybody in the chat have anything that they want to add to the conversation? I know there's probably a little bit of a delay. What do we see here? Sweet Trap Magai says, we were thinking, how could we come from nothing? But at the same time, what the heck is moving our bodies, because we're not inanimate objects? Some complex energy is something inside us. Yes, absolutely. When we look to the scriptures, we talk about man being created in the image of the Father. We have a soul, we have a spirit, we have a physical body, and we have a conscience, right? So we are made up of these things, and absolutely we can go on and on with the science of the modern day that they haven't discovered where the consciousness is, right? They have no idea. And when you look at the symbiotic relationship of the realm, the fine tuning, right, you'll find out that there's absolutely is a creator. And that's another thing Jason always gets in the comments, right, bro? People, you think it's a simulation? That's stupid. There's no creator. No, how do they say it? I paraphrased that wrong.
Well, see, a lot of people say, I'm real, right? And we're not suggesting being in a simulation means that you're not real. So everything that you experience is what you experience. The fact that you can think is proof that you exist. So talking about being in a virtual reality has nothing to do with your existence, with your reality. But then what is it that they also go on to say, I believe in creation. We're not in a simulation. I believe in creation. So somehow they conflate simulations with not having a creator. I guess they think that they just all evolve from nothing. But no,
that's what computer programs do, right?
No, they
evolve.
No, they don't evolve. They're programmed, and everything is very specific, very exact.
What? Your videos don't just come into being on their own accord?
The video game just evolved from nothing. No, there was definitely creators behind it. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Bass Kelly still doesn't have unmuted. So Muriel hasn't said anything in a while. What do you want to interject with?
Yeah, just open it up for whatever topics are on people's minds.
And I'm watching the chat too. Muriel might not be there. So go ahead. Oh, she's there.
Totally past this whole flat earth thing. Like I've accepted it. I've moved on. I don't need to see a million more proofs.
You want to talk about NASA?
Well, that's just funny. I think it's just funny at this point. I really don't need to see anymore. I guess maybe some people really like getting into the nitty gritty of it all, but it's just once it hit me and the realization hit me, it was just self-evident after that, and I just really didn't need to hear,
So which direction with the content would be the most enjoyable for you?
Scriptural. I really enjoyed tonight. Yep. Because while we all know what's going to happen here in the next few months, couple years away, and a lot of us have known this is going to happen for a very, very long time, probably been encoded into us somehow, and we need to start gathering those people, and that's what I came looking for when I came looking for guidance or videos or whatnot. I wasn't looking at more rabbit hole issues. I was looking for scriptural knowledge.
Okay, nice. That's important. Yeah, everybody, so there's you're familiar with the different types of topics that we cover. If everybody could just sort of talk about which things they would like to hear more of, that'll help us design which direction we go with the content. I don't know if Joseph, you've got a thought.
And if you want to tie more flat earth stuff in with the scriptures, that would be bonus for me.
Yeah, I thought it was great. We started out in Revelation 7, and I mean, when it's talking about what takes place at the beginning of the Great Tribulation, so before the angels are released, they're being held back. It says, and I saw the 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth. So I thought that was fantastic that we were able to mix in some Great Tribulation talk with flat earth at the same time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
hey, I just want to, can I add something to what Muriel just said?
Yeah.
I get what Muriel said, like, hey, I've heard flat earth. I don't need to hear anymore. I like to just provide a counterpoint to that. We are such a tiny, minuscule, small percentage of the population, the way we think. When I say we, I'm saying Team Yahawahashai and the real flat earth. We are just not even 1%. We're just a fraction of 1%. I mean, like, people that believe in flat earth are probably not even a tenth of 1%. But then the people that believe in real flat earth, which is the non-AE mapping model, the fake flat earth model, is even a smaller percentage. So repetition, getting the truth out, it needs to be repetitive. It needs to be put out so more people can hear it, more people can see the psyops that the New World Order has been running on us. The biggest psyop in history is the globe Earth. It is the biggest psyop. It's bigger than
the Great Deception,
the greatest deception ever. And I think exposing this deception is very important.
You go and look for, like, if you're specifically looking for flat earth stuff, chances that you're going to hit Ronnie and Jason on your first even like 30 hits is probably pretty low.
Yeah, you're not going to hit us. It's rare, unless you find me on Facebook now, but that's it.
You know, that became a topic in around 2015, 16, I'll be honest. And I went and looked, and I thought all they showed me was pancake flat discs and all this stuff that I could model in my head. And I was like, nah, that's not right.
Some people say that women intuitively know that they don't need to know the geographic outlook. So I can understand you already having your faith in it. But I do find, like, even JC's son, she has a flat earth group, I believe. She loves flat earth content, and nobody gives a flat earth like Jason and I. We definitely do it better than most. But we could table that conversation. Does anybody in the chat have anything to add in case you guys didn't want to join in? As well, I do agree with the scriptures. Go ahead, Joseph.
Can I just add something real quick? A scripture that I believe is about flat earth. It's from the Cave of Treasures, and it says, and they saw the right hand of Yahweh opened out flat and stretched out flat over all the earth.
Ooh, that's a banger, bro. Obviously, if he was going to curl his hand around the sphere, right? No, he laid his hand open flat amongst the flat earth.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Yeah, deductive reasoning will take you only one place with that. That's awesome. Otherwise, they would say his hand was cupped over the sphere of Earth, right?
He cupped the Earth, right? Becca brings up she believes that the cerveza thing is a big deception. That is the mark of the wild animal. right? The precursor to the mark of the wild animal. It has its own scripture. We're talking about the great deception was that people believe they're in a Big Bang cosmology that just created itself. And there is a large group of people out there that also, mind you, they have to have more blind faith than we do. We actually have evidence. We have physical geographical locations that we can go to and line up with the scriptures, as well as the seashells on the top of Mount Everest. Obviously, there was a water and flood above there at some point. There's so much evidence. The way that the what do I call it? The strata was laid down throughout the whole entire Earth. You get different layers of things that were pumped around, the water on top, pushing the layers of sand, and we got different types of fossils and crustacean levels and all these things, and you can actually replicate that in an experiment in a science room with a fish tank and different types of sand. You can literally copy the exact proof that we come. And the oldest tree on Earth, Methuselah, is that roughly dated 4,500 years ago. Guess what, guys? The Great Flood was roughly 4,500 years ago. Nobody will bring you that. You get Bust and Jest coming out saying, I've debunked the whole entire Bible. Yeah, you're smoking crack. If you want to come to a real debate and show up with your evidence, you better be prepared.
Right. It's crazy how that escalated to
Who, Justin? We called it out, Joseph. I know you've been with us the whole time. As soon as he started saying that the book of Paul was fake, we said, watch out, everybody. This guy's going to say the entire Bible is fake. We called it out day one. The Father does all the work.
Hey, I'm ready for that Mark Passio, Ronnie Shine
it's coming.
Debate showdown.
Mark,
his natural law. I'll get you some natural law.
Use some natural law. Everybody, Mark has obviously gated himself behind this huge satanic wall because he's an absolute cuck, shill, coward who won't defend his act. He won't defend his truth in public. You have to you have to call in. You have to pre-schedule the call and have his producer okay it. And then he'll have you on the air. And the guy's an absolute clown shoe, right? All he does is yell at his subscribers, berates them, treats them like crap, says they're clowns. And then everything that he teaches hinges upon the Big Bang cosmology, including Kabbalism. Mark, he always wears his tiny hat too. Don't be fooled, people. If you guys don't know do you guys know?
In school, they tried to teach us this when I was a child in the school. Even back then, I could see through that was just the most blatant, obvious lie. Even as a child, it was so easy to see through that whole evolution. BS. Come on. So where's the half lizard, half fish? Then where's the half?
Evolution doesn't work. Yes,
just stop.
The transitional species would have been killed long before the fish grew legs, right? It's just nonsense.
Really hard even going through school as a child because I just disagreed with half of the science stuff they said, and it was just it was so hard.
So one of the main things to point is that crypto Judaism, right? Anyone that's a crypto Jew is somebody that comes to you in a false outfit, like a Vatican priest, right? Or a Christian, or a what are those other denominations, Jason? Mennonites. You have all these different, maybe even Jehovah's Witnesses too. A crypto Jew is someone who secretly worships the Kabbalah, but they act like they're one of you, right? They mingle in throughout the different secret societies and religions, and they just shill crypto Jewism. And Barry Ah is absolutely one. Mark Passio is one. Jeranism, believe it or not, literally is a crypto Jew, as well as Passio. That's what these guys believe in. They think they have the greater knowledge, right? Sorry, Miriam.
All right, you go, Ronnie.
Crypto Judaism makes me really mad because if you don't have enough belief in your truth that you'll stand upon it in the public square, you got to hide who you are. That's cowardly. I don't have time for anyone. I definitely don't have respect for people like that. And Jason and I went through Passio stuff. I've been through it long before this, but for 2 minutes, this guy's trying to teach processions of the seasons through the globe earth theory, and everything that he hinges all of his truth upon is the Zeitgeist movies, which, mind you, if you type in Zeitgeist refuted, you will find hours and hours and hours of content that meticulously went through each and every lie in that movie. And I can debunk every single thing that Mark Passio spits out of his mouth. I can make it look like dog do easily. That's why I'm not afraid of these people. You know what? They're the ones who are afraid because they can't stand upon truth. That's all they do. They just come out and lie, and they want you to pay them. You got to go to his conference. He's going to tell you, I'm going to trigger you today with some of the truth. He has one of the most ridiculous performances that you could possibly find. Anyone who calls him a truth seeker, you better keep your guard up, because we're coming for you, because we came here to absolutely set the truth straight. Everything, right down from the shape of the earth to the scriptures that were taken out to the true names of the Christ and the Creator. And we'll debate anybody on earth, anywhere, anytime, anyhow, even a mainstream scientist. Jason, what say you?
Yeah, the higher the accreditation, the better. We don't want to waste time with some lowly shill. We want the master PhDs, the professors at universities that are teaching this crap. We want you to stand up and try to debate us. But we can't get any of them to do it. They know that they can't. They're dead in the water before it even begins. So we keep trying. If anybody can ever get one of these top people be willing to debate us, that'd be fantastic. We'd be all up for it. I don't know what you think, brother. We're 10:15 right now. Maybe we start to wrap it up. Maybe we sort of go around the group here and see if there's any final thoughts, things that you would want to share.
Yeah, why don't we start with Seth? If he's still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I just like to point out a scripture, if I may. I won't read the whole scripture because it's kind of long, but you had mentioned the Ethiopian Bible, and check out Acts chapter 8, verse 20, beginning at verse 26. Philip ran into a Ethiopian and told him about the truth. This Ethiopian was looking for the truth, and Philip was sent to him. The Spirit sent Philip to him, and because this man was seeking the truth, this eunuch was seeking the truth, and the eunuch was actually searching in the scriptures for the truth, and those who earnestly seek the truth will find it. And the Spirit sent Philip to this man to reveal to him the truth about Yahawahashai. And awesome story.
It sure is.
So check that out. Acts chapter 8, beginning at verse 26.
You say chapter 8?
Yeah, Acts chapter 8 and beginning at verse 26. Philip and the Ethiopian.
I'm very bipartisan towards not bipartisan, that's the wrong word. Nothing makes me happier than the 8s, as well as Psalm 8 too, if you guys haven't read that. Multiple scriptures with the 8 behind them. I always get really excited. But yeah, man, thank you for pointing that out. It verifies the things that I was saying. This is what I absolutely love the most. When we have people on and I speak a scripture and they come back at me with the actual verse, you don't understand. That to me is the greatest team of all. I don't care. We don't need to have 144,000. If there's just 100 of us, I will be so grateful to the Father.
But there will be 144,000.
I know.
There will.
It's just hard to see, brother.
I know.
It vexes me. I want to see everybody shine as bright as the stars in the sky. That's what my
understand
wish is.
how that's going to happen, but we know it's going to happen.
Isn't it just crazy to think that there aren't going to be that many? There's 8 billion people on Earth.
8 billion, right?
Yeah.
Got that 8 in there.
Yeah.
Muriel, why don't you say your goodbyes and what you're looking forward to and what you'd like to see?
Well, I don't know what to look forward to anymore. I'm just trying.
Well, you did say you wanted more scriptures, right?
Yeah, how do you guys? Yeah, that would be great. Like, hey, tonight was pretty gem on that. Like, we just got another one pulled out of was it the Cave of Treasures? That's awesome. Yeah, anything that pushes our understanding of those scriptures further and further, I'm all for it.
Nice. And thank you for calling in, Joseph.
Thanks for there.
Yeah, I got a little bit to say. Yeah, I see a lot of people, you know, and like just, man, it's like a mental sickness, and it just, it bothers me so much. And just like seeing people putting on rubber gloves to pick up a gas pump or something, you know, and it just, oh man, I want to try and tell people the best way I can, like, you know, but so I want to, I want to try and share my heart more, and just try and put things into perspective more, at least, you know, if it can help anyone. And I also, a good buddy of mine, him and his wife, they lost their month-year-old baby 2 weeks ago. So,
I'm sorry.
That's really been weighing on me too.
Well, the baby's with Yahawahashai, right?
I know.
100%.
It's tough, man.
I know. The death is tough to deal with, but we definitely know that Yahawahashai deals with it, right?
Yes.
So no fear, brother.
For sure. But yeah, I just, man, people, I mean, now more than ever, really, like, just the things that are going on, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to see it and try and share it with people, what I see, and I'm just so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for everyone, all you guys. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's reciprocated.
Yes, brother, always. And we're going to be spending eternity together, and we won't be sad anymore. We won't have any pain. Just remember the scriptures that we went through, Joseph, and to be someone else, you take those scriptures and you heal those people with them, right? That's what you're commanded to do. And yes, everybody goes through these hard times, and we know where to turn, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Keep shining, bro. I love what you're doing on Facebook. I appreciate you very much. Please don't stop. And everyone else, Frank, I didn't mention out to you. He's doing some good work on Facebook too. I see him in there. I see all you guys, and I appreciate you.
And we were joined by Bass Kelly, but never got a microphone to show up. So maybe next time we'll be able to have that happen. But thank you so much for calling in, everyone. We love hearing from you. Yeah, it had been a little while since we had done a live call-in, and I think it was time. It was needed. So this was great. Go ahead, brother.
I think we're getting I don't know if we have we have one video sent in from YD, and I think we got to play this for her. I'm going to send it to you, brother. I think you can pull it up on your computer, as far as I know. Let me see where I can send it to you. Because I definitely don't want to make the moderator angry, because I'll tell you guys right now, she brought me into this place, and if she wants, she can take me out. So I'm going to send this to you, and we'll just watch this before we go. And I wanted to say, do you want to do a little bit of an after call for everybody, and then maybe YD and a few other people can join in too?
Sure.
You're okay with that? We don't have too much going on. So I did send you the link via the green messaging system. I also saw the issues going on with Jerry here at the end, and yes, I will call anybody I want a tiny hat or a so-called Jew. There is no province of Judea. There hasn't been for thousands of years. Anyone who calls themselves that are not. Okay, that's the way that I do it, and I don't hold my punches. I'm going to give you guys the truth straight, and so be it. It pushes a lot of people away, but that's who I am. That's who I've grown into be. Let's watch this video. Thank you for sending this in, YD. We always want to make sure that we pay attention to what you advise, because you are a great part of the team, and I will say something after this as well.
Even any conspiracy theories. I understand not all of them, not most of them, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth? You not believing?
That's hilarious.
Conspiracy theories.
I know this meme. I've heard this before in the meme world. It's like when people like the sheeple, who I love too. I want to see them come to the truth. they just believe that the government's batting 1,000. They just, every ball that's a home run, they just tell you the truth. And these comedians can come up here and just absolutely overstand the whole entire position. It's a hilarious video, right?
Nice.
And so lastly, I just wanted to give a shout out to Viljar in Estonia, because a lot of the memes and a lot of the content, a lot of the music, a lot of time and a lot of hard work that you guys don't see, because he's very humble. And I just wanted to take this moment and just say, if you're not in the Reality Check chat group, you are missing out, because that is the only place left that we're allowed to say everything, without any type of restrainer. We will probably be doing podcasts there. You need to, I'm going to put the link is in the description box, right? If you're not, I know Seth's there, I know Joseph's there. If you're not in the Reality Check group, I don't see you as a Team Yahawahashai member, right? So super huge shout out. You guys have no idea how hard this guy works, and I couldn't do what I do without his help. He's a brother from another mother. Big shout out to Viljar. I know he's probably not going to like this. He's sleeping. He's 8 hours ahead of us in Estonia. But yeah, brother, you are the bomb. We can't win this war without you on our team. I thank you from my heart.
Well, that was fantastic. Now, let's see, everybody just stay muted, and then we'll play our end song out. And after the Sparks animation, then I'll be able to let you all back on. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. Please like, please share. The only place you're ever going to hear this is at hashtag Team Yahawahashai.
It's not over. Tell myself to hold on. Won't let this get me down. I know better. That's just the way of life. We pick ourselves up again. This is not the end.